Hey y'all, it's Nancy the Handy Scandy. Welcome back for another crafty venture. And today I continue addressing my love-hate relationship with foiling. So I'm going to compare the Minc versus my Royal Sovereign Laminator. Let's see if it matters and if I can begin to heal this relationship. Hey y'all, so I have told you before that I have a love-hate relationship with foiling, right? I've heard that the machine matters, that there are different things that matter that I haven't had. So I invested in a Minc, but I wanted to compare them. So one of the things that I understand that matters obviously is the machine and the paper and the foil and whether or not you kind of Swiffer it to get all the dust particles off, and of course the pressure. So there are lots of variables basically is what I'm saying. So this may or may not be a fair comparison. I'm no scientist. This is not the scientific method. This is Nancy's method. So I have both machines on. I did have some issues when I bought this one. They didn't send all the components, but I've received everything in the mail now, so I'm ready to do this. Both of them are ready. This has the ready button right there. I don't know if you can see that the light is green. It goes on and off because it kind of cools off, but it has been on for about 10 minutes now. So I'm going to trial this one first, the Minc first, while I let this one warm up a little more. So one of the differences with the laminator is that they say for best results, it should be allowed to heat up after the light turns green for a full 20 minutes. You can see it's covered in dust because I almost never use it. So I am going to slide this one over here just to get it off screen and give us some room here. So here is the Minc. I have it set on 3. The directions talk about what the different settings are for. Right there. So I have this foil that came with the machine, and there are 3 tags that came with the machine. I already have a piece of the foil cut down to cover that tag. What I'm going to do is sacrifice this tag, and I'm going to cut it in half, and I'm going to run half of it through the Royal Sovereign Laminator and half of it through the Minc. So I've already cut the foil. I'm just going to split the difference right up the middle, and then from here on out everything else is kind of what it is, right? I mean, the machines are different, their pressures are different, their well, everything is different. So let me scoot it back a little bit. We're going to set this one aside because this one will go with the Royal Sovereign Laminator. And this one, I'm going to pull in the transfer folder, and it is enormous, and it does have a crease in it, but I'm hoping that won't matter. So let me push it back a little bit further so you can see what I do. So you do not have to have whatever your project is all the way up at the crease, but they do say that that is kind of a best practice situation. So I have my Swiffer, what are they called? Swiffer Sweeper refills. So I am going to just wipe that off, and I'm going to wipe the foil because the foil gets set on top, foil side up. Ooh, I feel some static. Okay. So now in theory, all of that should be good to go. And when you feed it into your machine, as soon as you feed it in folded side first, and then the rollers should grab it and do the work for you. Okay, there it's pulling it through. Can you see the, what is this called? The transfer folder. Can you see that going through? I'll move it forward so we can see it come out the back. And I won't do the reveal yet. I'll do the reveals at the same time. We'll see if there's a difference. I can see some bubbles there. I'm wondering how that's going to impact it. because this was kind of an all over design. So I'm wondering what's going to happen right there. Oh, and over here too. I guess we'll know soon enough, won't we? So if you are a foil person and you can already give me tips, please do. I'm open to them. I do not find it offensive. I want to learn. I want to be able to get the most out of my machines, my products, all the things, right? And the Minc is definitely more of an investment than the Royal Sovereign Laminator. I think I paid $20 for it. Now I'm not pulling on this acetate, I'm just guiding it through. There we go. Okay, you see what I'm talking about when I say I wonder how that's going to work? Because there's like this bubble right here. I don't know if you can see that or not. And then over here there are some as well. So I'm going to set this aside and I'm going to push this back. And then I'm going to bring in the Royal Sovereign. So this is going to be interesting because the cord on the Heidi Swap machine isn't long enough to go over where that one was. Now I don't have an official transfer folder for this, so I use parchment paper. And I've always used parchment paper. But I'm going to put my tag down. I'm going to use the same Swiffer. And I'm going to use the Swiffer on this, and I will wipe this side. And then I will put the foil on top, and I'll wipe it again. And then I will fold up my, what I'm calling my transfer folder here. And I don't know if you can see, but I'm feeding it through in very much the same way. The rollers grab it and pull it on through. Now with the parchment paper, just the nature of parchment paper is that it likes to stay rolled up. So I'm holding the corners just so that it doesn't roll up as it goes through. Okay, I'm going to pull the machine forward. And I can see some bubbles on this one too. So I'm very curious to see how these come out. Now I know sometimes you can feed them back through, you can add shims, you can do any number of things. I'm not going to do either. I am going to set this over here again just so we have room. And the Heidi Swap one has had plenty of time to cool, whereas the Royal Sovereign has not. So I'm going to pull it out of the transfer folder. And then I'll set the transfer folder aside. I do want to say they sent me a couple other smaller transfer folders that I will likely use more frequently than that huge baby. So this one is Heidi Swap. Let me do it this way because visually I want this one closer to the Royal Sovereign. Does that make sense? And it does feel like it's cool already. And then I'll set that parchment aside as well. So let's do the reveal of the Heidi Swap Minc first, okay? Okay. That is a beautiful shine. And look where it was bubbled, was all these places where there's no, what does it adhere to? I don't even know what it adheres to. But I'm guessing that's going to be the same on this one. And if you look closely, you can see kind of that leaf pattern in there. So my guess is all these little puckers is where it's just white like that. So let's check out the Royal Sovereign, which has pretty good results as well. But I have to say, the Minc is a little bit better because you can see how smooth, and this one has some pitting even in the smoother areas. And I'm sorry if that's blinding you, but I hope you can see the difference. So there definitely is a difference. There's a little bit of pitting on the Minc one, but a lot of pitting on this one. Still beautiful though, I have to say. So this is the Minc, this is the Royal Sovereign. You can see the foil that's left over. Very interesting. Well, that is my experiment. Y'all tell me what you think. If you're on a budget, I still think the Royal Sovereign works just fine. I mean, in comparison, is the Minc better? Yes, I have to say yes it is, for sure. Let me wipe my fingerprints off of there. But also, if you're on a budget, this is just fine because no one's going to be comparing them, right? And this is beautiful as well. I feel like this probably made a difference, wiping off any dust. And again, there are other factors that could have gone into this. It could be the pressure, it could be the laminating, the folders. It could be if you need extra shim or not. It could be the heat. You know, have you allowed them to heat up? All those different things matter. But I have to say, I'm not mad about purchasing my Minc with that kind of results. So I'm going to take this to a larger level. I would like to try to use my, I can't remember what it's called, but my plate that allows me to foil onto other things. I would like to try that, but that is not with this machine. That is with like the Glimmer. So anyway, very different machines, different foil, that kind of thing. So, but right now we're keeping our focus here. We've got the Minc, which gave us this baby. And then we've got the Royal Sovereign, which gave us this one. So there we have it, friends. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know your experiences. Do you already have one of these? Do you have both of them like I do now? Which one do you prefer? Let me know, let me know. In the meantime, I'm going to get to making. So thanks for spending this time with me. Mwah. This is Nancy, the Handy Scandy, and I'm out.